another compilation of small tips for you guys. This one's going to be focused on routes that I've seen throughout the game, throughout the playbooks, that are really, really cool, but I haven't really been able to incorporate into my own scheme. Well, one of them I can, two of them you can't, just because they're kind of rare to find, but I think they're cool nonetheless, and if you're in those playbooks, I think it's something you can use. The first one is a really, really cool option route. That's great against baseline defenses. It's only in the run and shoot playbook, but I think it's cool nonetheless. The other one, the second one, is going to be probably the best route for a running back in this game. And the third one is what I think is the best crosser in the game as well. So really cool stuff, and we'll start with the really cool option route in this game with this isolation route from the 61X choice play in the run and shoot playbook. And I'll show you why I really like it. So we'll come out and cover 3 sky. So something that I've been doing in this game and the previous game is against these teams that like to baseline and then send heavy pressure, or even just teams that like to baseline in general. What I'll do, let me put this guy where he normally would be on a baseline. What I like to do against cover 3 is throw a quick out here. So just like this, and then that's easy, 7 to 10 yards every single time, where it's forcing your opponent to get out of that. Either bring one of those defenders, bring the flat defender further out there, or stop baselining, or do an adjustment with that far cornerback over there. Likewise, if they have baseline cover 2, let me make sure this safety doesn't come down here, I'll convert that guy to a fade. Oh, I kept my controller on that safety, but regardless, that's an easy touchdown for me. If I ever see baseline cover 2, I'm just fading that far side wide receiver, and it's instant touchdown. But what sometimes the smarter players will do is that, even first of all, if it's baseline and they're switching between cover 3 and cover 2, or even man coverage, then I'm in kind of trouble because I can't really predict it. I have to pick either an out, which doesn't work great against cover 2, or a fade, which doesn't work great against cover 3. Or, if they're running cover 3 and then they just switch that player to man coverage or something like that, things get kind of screwy here. But if I were to have this route, I wish I could in any playbook, it is really, really cool, to a point that I'm kind of considering switching over to the run and shoot. So what you have here, let's go ahead and baseline everything. If he sees a cover 3, he's going to run that quick out, and that's easy, at the very least 7 yards. Previous games I used to be able to take that upfield, but that animation where he kind of just falls over isn't great for me. But you can do that all the way up and down the field, and it's going to force your opponent to do something about it. So you get that quick out there. Even if they run a hard flat here, we can squeeze that in, turn that field, get a few more yards. Really, really easy stuff. I don't see a lot of people doing that for some reason. Really great way to attack baseline coverages. And then, what's cool, if we go cover 2, baseline, I have to make sure this guy stays up here. He's not going to run the out, he's going to run a fade. And it's a really nice fade where he goes all the way out to the sidelines, and if I would have just turned that upfield a little bit quicker, that would have been a touchdown. So no matter what your opponent does, your wide receiver is going to do something cool. And even what's really cool is if they try to get smart with you and say they're predicting that quick out, they're running cover 3, and then they do a hard flat or cloud flat with that cornerback. Well, this option route is dependent on that cornerback rather than the play itself. So he'll still convert to a fade here, and you'll still be right. So really cool stuff. Also, if your opponent tries to get tricky and mans up on that cornerback, well, he's not going to run the out. He's going to run the fade here, which, isn't... in this case, Randy Moss is just so fast. Isn't great, but at least he doesn't run the out route. Because if I run just an out route against man coverage, it's going to get kind of locked up, and usually it's going to be a pick 6. So if I see that fade and then it's man coverage, I'll probably just, leave it as it is. I would have kind of preferred him to run that slant. I actually don't know when he runs that slant. I didn't do too much testing. But it's something really cool nonetheless, and I might switch to run and shoot and try that out a little bit more. So that's the first one. The second one is something that I could have done in that same play, so we'll kind of go back to it. Actually, no. I want to do that in a different play. So the other one is a really nice check down route for your running back. So let's come out and play like 4 verticals here. And let's come right back into cover 3 sky. And what it is, let me get off of him. It's the option route. So L2 on the option screen, and then you smart route that. So he's going to turn up the field, and then he's going to just turn and stop 20 yards down the field. So what I like it as is something that's a last option, essentially, a last read. So once things kind of settle and say the user goes way off somewhere to cover something, well, this running back's going to sit in a spot that no zones are going to cover, which is really, really cool. So where I like it is, say if you have a crossing route like Rice here, and let's pretend the user is Brooks. We'll simulate that. It gets kind of to a point where he's forced to choose. So if he goes with the crosser, which can't be covered, you have the running back here for a huge gain. Or it can be a situation where it kind of the user hesitates just enough. Is he going to cover that running back where your crosser can gain a step on him and you can throw that? So that's really, really cool. Or like I was saying before, it can just be a last-ditch effort. Where say if you have a concept like a flood concept over here, and you have an aggressive user that's covering that, things kind of break down. This is always going to be a really great breakdown route. So just like that, see, he gets right over that hook, right underneath the deep third, and they're never going to be able to cover that. But what's really, really cool is that if you ever do come into a situation where, let's say Tampa 2 here, middle third, where one of those zones matches to the running back. So we'll just run this like it is. And by the way, little bonus tip, if you want to have time in the pocket in practice mode to test your concepts, put your other controller, if you have one of the ends here, and just slide protect out of the way. That'll guarantee that you don't get the good speed rush animations, and then you'll just have time to actually test your concepts. So anyway, if he matches, he's actually going to run an out route. And if I had time there, I would just, pass lead that outwards, and I would, let me set this up again. I would also still have a big gain there. So let's see if we can have some time in the pocket. Beats his linebacker, outside pass lead, rat catch that, turn that upfield. Unfortunately, the option route is a little bit different out of shotgun, and if you smart route that, he doesn't get nearly high up the field. But so that's unfortunate, but I think this single back approach is really, really cool. So that's those first two, and then I'll have to kind of switch out of the playbooks to get the third one here. Okay, I had to switch playbooks here just to get this third route for you guys, and the play is at a single back bunch, and it is Y trail. So you can find this in Tampa Bay Bucks, Miami Dolphins, Run and Gun, and Balanced, I believe, are the only ones, but I think it might be worth switching over playbooks just because I think this crosshair is really, really good. So we'll go Y trail here, and then we'll show you with some of these normal coverages that you see. So cover 3, you can run this to either hash mark. It's this kind of slant from the middle right wide receiver here on the bunch here. So it's a little bit longer than a regular slant, as you see, but it's not super, super deep where you're spending a lot of time waiting for that crosser to get across the field. So he's in a really nice position where he's just deep enough to get past those clouds, any of those flat zones, but not so not too deep that he's getting into those deeper zones. And then he does that really, really quickly just because, it's not too vertical of a stem, and then he's kind of inside the field there as well. And I'll just show you kind of some of these, just stock cover 3. The only thing is that you have to do a bit of a upward pass lead just so you can clear that flat. I mean, you can do other things like if you don't want this delay route here, or this the name is slipping me at the moment, but anyway, you can just run a little drag there to suck that guy down a little bit, and you see here you have acres and acres of space. And then from there, you can obviously do things like, if you don't want this sluggo here, you can, if you have the elite route runners or deep route runner chemistries, you can put him on a crosser route so that you can take you can essentially take that quarterback out of the game. I don't think an out route would work there. And you have other cool things here, like you have this wheel route, which is good if you want to get a one-play touchdown against cover 3. All you have to do is turn that guy into a fade. You can, yeah, it's a trail route, sorry. You can quick throw that trail route all the time. So I think there's a lot that you can build off this. What's really cool too is against cover 2, I gotta make sure this guy stays. Against cover 2, you don't even really need a clear out route, because it gets into such a sweet spot. Just like that. Make this guy miss if you can, and you're off in the races. There's other things. Because it's such a quick break, it's hard for cross-man safeties or any sort of cross-man to kind of cover it. So if I cross-man that crosser, set up everything else, you'll see he just torches him. There's no chance. Get that, turn that field if I have Tyreek Hill. Really decent stuff. I mean, that's not really great to show that against Steve Atwater there, but even against the speedy defensive backs, he'll have no chance there. Okay, so that's it for that one, guys. Let me know if you tried these out. Let me know if you've used them before. I've been using the single back, this check down here, but I haven't really used the other ones yet. Look at that. Easy 20 yards. Okay, that's it for this one, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.